Hey, teacher friends! It is Thursday evening. I am teacher Toni and trying to get back on track with jumping on Facebook Live with you guys. It has been a crazy time for teachers and for human beings in general. So I know you guys will give me some grace for kind of being absent for a little while, but I am back to serve you and to serve your students, and I have brought an incredible guest on today. We are talking all about gratitude, and that topic is so needed more than ever in the history of the earth and definitely in the history of education. So, today we're going to talk with my friend Barbara, but before we do, let me let you guys know that my month of November giveaway, a $50 Amazon gift card, is coming to a close next week, or maybe the end of next week. Yes. And if you are interested in being entered into a $50 Amazon gift card giveaway, you can go to my podcast, Primary Teacher Friends, take a listen to something, and let me know your feedback by writing a review. When you're writing the review, take a screenshot and post it in my Primary Teacher Friends Facebook group, and you are automatically entered to win. I think as of now, I have only 2 entries for the month of November. So I will leave a link in the description after the show if you'd like to jump over and listen and leave a review. It would mean so much to me. Speaking of gratitude, I would be so grateful if you would do that. It helps my podcast reach new people. The more reviews that are left. It's something to do with an algorithm. I can't really explain it, but the more reviews, the better for people to see it, the more people that will be exposed. Okay, so we're talking all about gratitude, and I did not just grab some random Jane off the street. I brought in a real expert, and she's not just an expert by trade. Barbara really practices what she preaches, and she's taught me so much about gratitude. We were just talking that she planted a seed in me with her knowledge, and I took that and ran with it and did a lot of research about gratitude myself, and I want to share that knowledge with you. So if you're watching, be sure to say hello. Be sure to say hello in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking and how you're feeling. We want to know how you're doing. But without further ado, my beautiful and wonderful friend, Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
How's it going?
So good to have you, Barbara. I just told everyone, of course, that you are an expert, not just by trade, but by practice, because you teach me so much about gratitude and all kindness and love and giving. All of those things, Barbara. So before we get started, can you tell us what you do for a living? You've come a long way. You've done many things, but what are you doing right now in your career?
I'm currently mentoring some school counselors, and I'm doing some virtual training in character development and social and emotional learning. And I'm able to just kind of plant seeds of, I don't know, inspiration and joy in whoever, needs a booster shot.
Yes, I think we all need that booster shot right now. So
Especially now, yeah.
yeah, so that's why I've got you here, Barbara. You're doing such incredible work with those counselors. I want you to kind of do some of that work with us. And I just want to let everyone know I'm a little bit nervous about our live today because later on we're going to tell you about a gratitude strategy that Barbara taught me about. And I'm going to reveal a lot about myself in a little bit. But Barbara, can you start by letting us know why is it so important for teachers to practice gratitude?
Well, gratitude has so many benefits. It's actually like an antidote to a lot of stuff, and it's actually quite medicinal. If you go to positive psychology, some of the benefits listed there in the most recent research, I guess January of 2020, it improves your physical strength, your mental strength, your health. It improves your sleep. The practice of gratitude can increase empathy, which is one of my favorite things to talk about with kids and grown-ups as well. It can reduce aggression, which I found very interesting. It can help make social connections. It can even enhance your self-esteem. And I saw that grateful people can live up to 7 years longer.
Holy moly! I think we all want to jump on that train. Cool, Barbara. Yes, in the research that I did, I found those benefits, and I was like, do these really make sense? But then the more you read into gratitude really does have those effects, and it leads to so many things we wouldn't realize until you really researched about it. So very cool. Very cool.
And I love to really go beyond it being a feeling. I really want to help people turn it into a verb. How do you make gratitude a verb? So the practice of gratitude is not just feeling thankful so much as it is showing thankfulness.
Yes, we have to practice it, and that's what you are good. You've taught me some ways to put it into practice and to start feeling some of those benefits recently, so that's why we want to share them with everyone. Now, how do we do that? How do we take what we constantly use as a feeling? I'm grateful for my kids, I'm grateful for my job. But how do we turn gratitude into something that we do?
Okay, well, if they listened to your podcast today, I think the first suggestion, good old-fashioned thank you notes. I love a good thank you. And it's probably because my mom taught me how to be grateful. I wrote this over 50 years ago, and my godmother sent it back when she was downsizing a few years ago. So go with me here. I was only 6 when I wrote this, but it says, "Dear Sue, thank you for the very nice Jesus book. I can read the first 2 stories all by myself. We have a baby duckling in our barn. We are glad you like Tracy. Polly is getting bigger every day. He also has 1 tooth." And then it's signed, "Love, Barbara," in my 6-year-old, oops, the other way, print, all capital letters. So I don't know if I was shouting, but I love the fact that my mom was teaching me at an early age to show gratitude.
I love that. I love that. And that was the first thing that I noticed was it was all in caps. That's definitely the primary teacher in me. But how adorable, Barbara. So you learned that at an early age. Now, I did not learn that from an early age, so I'm just trying to implement some of those strategies into my life, and that's what you're going to help us with. So, of course, we can do the thank you notes. What's some
Thank you note. The journaling, gratitude journaling. My most recent one that I love to fill out is gratitude with an attitude. And it's actually a pre-printed journal. So you can see that the pages come with the prompts. What's something you're grateful for? 3 things. What's a tiny victory? It actually asks at the bottom for you to set an intention. What's something you want to do tomorrow? And it's just a quick 5-minute wrap, whether you do it at the beginning or the end of the day, you carve out time with intention to show gratitude. So the journaling's a big one, I think.
I struggle with journaling because I really have to slow down and recognize everything that I feel. You know, when you type on a computer and when you text, it's kind of in high speed. But when you slow down and write things in a journal, the truth is there just looking you in the face. And that's a great thing, especially if you journal about gratitude and all those things. But just want to point that out that journaling is hard. It's hard to set time aside to do that, but it has so many benefits itself.
So many benefits, the reflection. And I think too, what's going to be good is after I'm gone, for my kids to be able to dig into those journals. My friend Jay lost his mom, and she had a 5-year journal that she had kept. And it just had a little snippet every single day for 5 years. And once she had 5 of those, so 25 years worth. And once she was gone, it was such a gift to him and his brothers to be able to read through her thoughts and reflections. So that's like a bonus, huh?
Oh, I'd love to have that for my mommy and even my daddy. Any kind of little shred that you find from their life is so special. But wow, to have all of that recorded, what an amazing thing. Yes, we should do it for our kids. Who thought? Wow, thank you for sharing, Barbara.
So another one is the gratitude jar. My friend Carol made this one for me a couple of Christmases ago. And essentially it just pops open, and it's going to go along with the journaling because out come writing prompts. And the writing prompts will help you get to gratitude. So this one, for example, is what is one of my favorite things to do with John. That's my husband. So as I think through what do I like to do with him, then I journal that as a gratitude. This one, what was the last gift that you gave? And that will bring me to whom did I give it to and what prompted that. So gratitude ends up being circular. As you give it out, then it ends up coming back, whether it was a gift or an event. Maybe it was an experience someone gave you, maybe just a kind word. This one, what would make you feel spiritually fulfilled? And then again, just a chance to journal your gratitude around that prompt. This one, what is your most treasured possession and why? So I have 365 days worth of prompts in that jar. So if I don't have a journal that's got pre-printed prompts, then now they're in the jar. Another use for the jar might be as gratitudes come along, just pop them in the jar, and then maybe on New Year's Eve, go back to that jar and you'll have a year's worth of gratitude to review and reflect upon.
Wow, that is so fun. I love the review at the end of the year. I mostly come to the end of the year and I'm not sure what exactly happened during the year. So it'd be great to reflect back on the year and see what all I had to be grateful for. Wow, what a cool tool. Barbara, but before we go on, let me ask you, how do we model gratitude for our students? What are some tips you would have for us to model this for our students? You learned it from an early age. I wish I had learned it from an early age. So, how can we show our students the importance of gratitude? That way, they can begin these practices and have some impact in their lives.
That is such a great question. I just happen to have a smile file because over the years, teachers did that with their kiddos. They asked, oh, I'm just backwards here. They asked me to, they asked the kids, we're going to make thank you notes for our school counselor. And so they just have them writing. This one was from '07, and they did a Getting to Know You book, and it's just filled with gratitudes. This one was a take on Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch, but it was Somebody Loves You, Mrs. Gruener. And again, just the beautiful words and pictures. They just carved out time with their students to write me, look at that, love holds life together. I mean, how beautiful is that? This one was very similar, 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? And the same idea where the teacher carved out time for the children to express their gratitude to me as their school counselor. And that helps to set a habit of gratitude lifelong. Like the little cards, sometimes they weren't in a book. Here's to Mrs. Gruener from Hannah. And Hannah has just poured her heart and soul into a note telling me that the school would not be the same if I were not there. And it creates, again, a win-win because here it is 20 years later, and I still have this card from Hannah. And hopefully 20 years later, she's still using gratitude to bless people.
Love it. let me get back over here. As a teacher, okay, I always got to pull the teacher side in there, especially a literacy teacher, Barbara. Not only are we teaching
Yeah.
gratitude, we're giving them opportunities to write and to develop those writing skills and those descriptive words. That's something I talked about in the podcast today, was we really got to get those descriptive words in there to really get down in our hearts and share our emotions. So that's really great for our students. And also 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? We always need skip counting practice too. So those are some things that I really,
And writing, right?
oh, love it. Love rhyming. Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect. So thank you for giving those examples. I really would like for you to talk more about how, when we show gratitude, not only do we get the benefits of that, but when we share that with someone else, how powerful that is, not just for them, but for us to see their reaction. Like when those students gave you those, you've kept them your whole life. But I bet they were so proud to know that they affected you in that way.
They were so happy to deliver me these notes and books. Typically, it would happen during Counselors Week, which is set aside the first week of every February. But sometimes just randomly, they would show up with a note and say, I drew you a note, or if I wasn't in my office, it would, be stuck there. And it would be something with a superhero cape or something personalized, and always so heartfelt and beautiful. So I love that they would take content and weave in the writing and set those skills early. And then the art piece to allow them to create, because creativity is also a hugely important skill for us to help the kids sharpen. And there is a helper's high. So as you're helping other people, same thing. As you're expressing gratitude, the person watching also gets those hormones, that chemical dump that your brain is doing when gratitude is being expressed and received.
It feels so, so good. So, so good. So as teachers, Barbara, let's talk about who can we share our gratitude with? Who should we share our gratitude with? What do you think?
Everybody. I think for sure the unsung heroes, the janitors, the cafeteria staff, the bus drivers, for sure. They may not get a week set aside like School Counseling Week, which we get in February, but they are on duty 24/7 for us. And so anybody who's serving, I like to really talk to the kids about community helpers. For sure, the teachers, we always did a Thank a Teacher project, and they could go back and thank a former teacher, or they could thank the teacher that they're with this year. And the former teachers, if they had moved, we would research and look them up and say, listen, you write that note, I will find that teacher and send that card, because it's that important. And then segue into something new I tried with the counselors that we're going to do, and that's thanking ourselves, because sometimes the world isn't there to thank us. The world gets busy, and yet there's things we're doing every day that make profound impacts in the lives of the children and the stakeholders at our school. So with my school counselors, I thought I would try something like write yourself a thank you note. So I brought blank thank you notes, and we tried it. When I told you about it, I think you decided you might try it as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I did. I did do it. And if I hadn't already released on my podcast episode that I would be doing this tonight, so those listeners were expecting it, I probably would back out, Barbara, because first of all, it just seems unconventional to write a letter to yourself. So there's a little bit of discomfort that surrounds that. But when you really sit down to do it and those emotions come out, it's really raw. It's really raw, and you really think about, what do I do that makes a difference? So can you first of all let everyone know, just so they understand, tell them what you told me to do.
So we were doing self-compassion, and I just suggested that here's a blank thank you note, and instead of thanking somebody else, today we're going to thank ourselves. Maybe it's something that you've done that's above and beyond, or maybe it's just one of those things that you routinely do that maybe you wish somebody would notice and they haven't. To one of the girls who had lost a parent, I actually suggested maybe something you would like to hear your mom or dad say. To a different counselor who doesn't have a leadership support, I said, what would you wish that your principal would say? Because you can appreciate that from within. So basically, gratitude is from the inside out, right? So if we want that external, we can get that going from the inside out. So we're writing to ourselves to express that gratitude as a way of showing self-compassion and appreciation.
So if it's a little long, is that okay if it's a long thank you note?
There weren't any parameters. I told them I would like them to read it aloud before they tucked it into the envelope and put it in a safe place for a time when gratitude needed to find them. And so it could be as short or as long as they wanted. They also had the option not to read it aloud, and one of them chose, you know what, right now I don't want to read it aloud. But 2 weeks later, I got a picture of it tucked in her filing cabinet, and she said, I'm about to pull this out. I want to thank you for this activity. It didn't hurt my feelings that she didn't want to read it out loud. We are all in different places. And part of giving and receiving gratitude is meeting people where they are.
Okay, so I'm nervous about this. So for anyone that's just joining, hey guys, hey Jessica, I want to say hello to Laura, our friend Barbara, she's here, Francis is here.
Hey, Laura.
I am about to read a thank you note that I wrote to myself, and a very powerful experience. So I do recommend that you do it. And so Barbara says you should try to read that aloud to your friends. So I'm reading it aloud to all of you friends. So if I cry, please don't judge me, Barbara. I'm going to go for it. Are we ready?
Okay, take a deep breath, Toni. You've got this. I am so proud of you right now.
Okay. Dear Toni, as absolutely silly as this feels to talk to yourself, it's about daggone time you slow down for a moment and think about what you're worth. You stand before your students every single day and tell them their worth, but you rarely feel that way about yourself. You're so tied up in what you have yet to do, need to do, and should be doing to see the things that you are doing. So even though you feel like throwing this pen down and getting to your next task on that ever expanding list, let me begin by saying thank you for taking time to say thank you. Thank you for continuing in the profession that made your mama so proud. You've played with this idea of quitting, of running an online business full time and kicking the boss out of your life. But you continue to hang on. You know within your soul that joyful, loving teachers are leaving at alarming rates, and children need cheerleaders now more than ever. You hang in there for them, and that is something to be proud of. One of my favorite qualities about you is that you look at every student coming into your classroom as a new opportunity and a fresh start. You definitely hear the stories of the bad kids and the delayed learners, but you choose to give every student a chance to thrive, to learn. You celebrate opportunities to prove other teachers wrong and to brag on a child who has never been seen in a positive light before. Maybe those instances of hope will be as life-changing for your students as they once were for you. Toni, that's amazing. Thank you for choosing joy for teaching, even in the face of depression and loss. During your 8 years in the classroom, you have lost so much. Your beautiful mommy, your sweet daddy, an irreplaceable friend, and 2 pregnancies. It could be so easy to be hardened by death and the hurt you constantly feel, to lose focus on the futures you were building and the lives of children. But you choose to smile on and continue to love your students. Thank you for allowing the joy of working with children to perpetually heal you. You keep on showing up, and those smiling faces continue to drive you through heartache. Finally, I want to thank you for waking up at 4 a.m. every morning to plan, work, and hustle with the goal of helping other teachers continue to be what children need. You more than almost any teacher know the potential that educators have to impact children, especially those who are shattered and need healing. Keep on serving teachers, because although you may never see it, your passion has the ability to move others towards greatness. Don't give up and keep on working to make your mama proud. Love, Toni.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing.
Thank you, Barbara. That was hard.
So that, yes, and hard. I love the way you leaned into hard. Hard is going to happen. We're facing hard right now, but instead of going around it, because it will inevitably come back around and find us, you chose to go through it. That's pure gratitude. Wow, that's making gratitude a verb right there.
Yeah, I say that the words I live by is I'm trying to make my mama proud. I lost my mama, and she's the one who told me at 6 years old that one day I'd be a teacher. And I said, "No, Mom, I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be a marine biologist. I want to move out and work at the ocean." She said, "No, baby, you're going to be a teacher." And sure enough, that's where my life led me, and I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. So that's what I live by, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help teachers and help kids. I want them to feel joy, because kids deserve that. Kids deserve gratitude too. That's something I really believe.
Yes. Yes, I read a quote that said, "It's not joy that gives us gratitude, it's gratitude that gives us joy." And we definitely know that those two are interconnected, and we definitely know that they're a choice. So even in the midst of some heavy burdens, you're choosing to focus on the gift of gratitude and the things that have come your way. So that is just so clear in there. I know it feels a little bit like so awkward and bragging, but it is such beautiful, humble leadership to be able to honor what you're able to offer, what you're willing to give, and then move through to model that for other people, like the kids you're serving.
You taught me that, Barbara. That's thanks to you, and I'm going to keep this letter forever. And when I get down and get hard, I miss my parents. I miss that, enforcement that they would give me, and my friend that I lost this last year. She was just a major cheerleader for me in the classroom. But when I get down, I'm going to remember to get out this letter and remember that I can be proud of myself. I can be proud of what I do.
Yes, please do, because if you can't be proud of what you're doing, then something probably needs to change. So I think a healthy pride is such a good idea, such a good mission and lifestyle.
Well, I am so proud to have a friend like you, Barbara. Tell me some of the things that you have coming up, the projects you've got going on. I want to hear about them.
Well, I love to create, and I love to create with you. So what I've been doing this week is putting affirmations on stickers, and then the counselors are choosing the actions and making a deck of cards. So they choose 52, or if they include the jokers, 54 affirmations that speak to them from about 60 I've been giving them, a few more, and they're making a deck of cards for themselves. So when they play cards with their kiddos, there are some uplifting statements, mantras, if you will, affirmations that they can use, like I choose joy, like those sorts of things. And Toni, I think this would be a great time to tell them about what we created in case they missed our boosters at the beginning of the month.
Yes, yes. We, if you go to teachertony.com/self-care, we did a great episode about self-care. And that booster, that free resource, I'll put it in the description. It had so many affirmation cards, like the cards you were mentioning. And then it had a whole list of different types of self-care. And I really loved doing that episode with you, Barbara. I can't remember right off if that was episode 17, but
I think so.
yeah, but it's also a great time. You mentioned mantras, and since we did our project a few months ago about SEL in the classroom, I have used a mantra every single day with my class. So I want to share with you. Kind of goes perfectly with our topic, actually. Our mantra this week is let's see if I can get my whole body up here because I want you to see. I am grateful for who I am. That is our mantra this week. So I put that up on the screen for the kiddos, and we do our motions together. So I see them virtually, and they're doing their motions. They know it wonderfully, and then they write it. So I'm getting that double benefit of the mantra and the SEL component, but the writing component. So just totally geeking out on that. And let me tell everyone that is a free toolkit that we created, the SEL toolkit for primary teachers. That is over at teachertony.com/SEL. So that's a free kit, that list of mantras. And then we have a feelings journal in there. We talk about our feelings every day. The kids love it. I think it's their favorite time of day. So we've done some great projects together.
A template for a feelings friend hat.
That's it. Yes, the feelings friend of the day. Love that. I've not been using that. I kind of use a whole helper of the day, but that helper gets to recite the mantra and do the motions for the whole class. So love that. So
Nice.
Great projects.
Yeah.
Together.
When you add motion, then it just kind of seals the deal, right? So you're giving them a chance to make it tactile or kinesthetic. And so that is just such a great idea. And, even with the cards, the deck of cards, I was going to pre-make the deck of cards, but today I had my first 5 counselors, and to watch them pick their own mantras and make their own deck so that they personalized it, and they could put the stickers sideways or, vertical or horizontal. And so they all went about it a little bit differently. And some of them, if it was going to be too hard, they're like, no, I don't want a sticker. I'll save that sticker for later, because there might be a mantra or an affirmation you're not ready for yet. Again, gratitude and really all this SEL stuff, it's about meeting kids and adults where they are and giving stuff to them when they're ready for it, right?
Yeah, I feel like a giant kid 99% of the time. When we talk about kids, I think we're talking about me, because that's how I feel. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have enjoyed the mantras. When you say something over and over and over again, you just start to believe it as truth. So that's why we need to fill our brains with positive thoughts and gratitude, all those things, gratitude for ourselves. So you are an expert at that, Barbara. I want to hear one more thing. Can you tell us where to find all the wonderful work that you're doing?
So I blog over at Corner on Character. So it's corneroncharacter.com. And I curate a lot of resources on Facebook at What's Under Your Cape. So facebook.com/What's Under Your Cape. And then I'm on Twitter quite a bit because I like to share positive resources. I understand that Twitter can not always be a friendly place, but for the educator PLN that I found on Twitter, it's a great place to really just swap resources and chat out things that we're doing that we believe in, and look for news, because right now there's so much equity work that we're digging into to level the playing field for all learners. and I'm really just learning like by leaps and bounds on Twitter.
Yeah, you are so busy right now. One thing I'm grateful for from a worldwide pandemic is that finally we're all looking at SEL as such an important component of our teaching. And you've reassured me that I was already practicing SEL in the classroom, but everywhere I look, it's everywhere. So I know you're staying busy with all of your experiences in that area and all of your expertise and knowledge. So I'm so glad to have you here, Barbara. Thank you for joining us. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
Well, I also want to just remind listeners that right now, wellness is so important: mental health, physical health, spiritual and emotional health. So, to really take good care, to give yourselves a lot of grace, it is not just to carve out me time, but I also like the idea of we time, as long as you can stay healthy, because we need one another right now. It's not the kind of time to be trying to go it alone, to be, that lone ranger or that silo or island or whatever we tend to sometimes do as educators and caregivers. So give yourself lots of grace, keep replenishing so that you've got, fuel for your journey.
Love it, Barbara. Love you. Thank you for coming. And everyone who is watching, thank you for joining us. Be sure to leave us a comment. I see some really wonderful comments, Barbara. I can't wait for us to read together from our viewers. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. And hopefully I will see you, not Thursday because that's Thanksgiving. See you sometime this week. Bye, Barbara.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye, Toni.